Something's been off for a while now, and fans are finally starting to piece it together. For years, Beyonce and Jay-Z have carefully crafted the image of a perfect, powerful family, music royalty, untouchable, and pristine. But there's one thing that doesn't fit. One person who's been noticeably absent from the spotlight, red carpets, and even the family's most private candids, Sir Carter. While Blue Ivy has become a public prodigy and Rumi has begun making her stage debut, Sir has completely vanished from public view. No appearances, no photos, no moments, and now speculation is running wild. Some say Sir is autistic. Others claim Jay-Z is deliberately hiding him because, in his eyes, a neurodivergent child doesn't match the empire he's built. It sounds harsh, it sounds cruel, but when you connect the dots, the theory becomes harder to ignore. Especially when this isn't the first time Jay-Z has been accused of turning his back on a son, and that's where things get dark. At first, no one thought much of it. Beyonce and Jay-Z have always been private, especially when it comes to their kids. So when the twins, Sir and Rumi, were born in 2017 and kept out of the public eye, fans assumed it was just protective parenting. After all, the world wasn't kind to Blue Ivy when she was a child. People picked apart her hair, her face, her every move. So keeping the twins hidden, it made sense until it didn't. Because somewhere along the way, something shifted. Blue Ivy began stepping into the spotlight gracefully, confidently, and with Beyonce's full support. From award show appearances to stealing the stage during the Renaissance World Tour, Blue has been presented as the next generation of the Carter dynasty. Even Rumi, who stayed under the radar for years, started to emerge. She was spotted at multiple shows during the 2023 tour, then made her big debut on stage alongside her sister and mother during the Cowboy Carter tour. But Sir, nothing. No tour sightings, no red carpet cameos, no leaked paparazzi shots, not even a blurry image in the background of a fan photo. It's like he vanished from existence. And that's when the question started. If Blue is front and center and Rumi is slowly joining her, why is Sir still invisible? Why is the only male child in the Carter bloodline missing from the narrative? Fans couldn't help but wonder, was this just coincidence or a cover-up? As whispers about Sir's absence got louder, a new and deeply personal theory began to circulate, one that sent shockwaves through the Bayhive and beyond. Some fans now believe the reason Sir Carter has been almost completely hidden from the public isn't just privacy, it's because he's autistic. And that revelation, if true, changes everything. At first, this theory sounded like a stretch, but then people started connecting the dots. During an interview, Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, gave a rare glimpse into Sir's personality. She described him as very quiet, very smart, and into numbers. She talked about his deep focus and calm energy, contrasting him with his twin sister, Rumi, who loves the limelight and has already made her debut on stage. It wasn't what she said, it was what she didn't say that raised the eyebrows. For many, Tina's words felt like carefully coded language, phrases often used to describe children on the spectrum, and in that moment, fans started to question everything. Why would one child be gradually brought into the public eye while the other remains completely out of sight? If this is about privacy, why doesn't that standard apply equally to all three children? The speculation only intensified when fans revisited Beyonce and Jay-Z's long-standing obsession with image. The Carters are famously meticulous about how they're portrayed. Every interview, every public appearance, every photo, strategic. And if Sir's neurodivergence didn't fit the perfect royal family narrative they've spent decades building, would they choose to hide him rather than embrace him? The idea is painful, and yet it resonated because fans noticed something else. Even Blue Ivy, who was once ruthlessly mocked by the public, was eventually introduced, embraced, and even celebrated. Rumi, though slower to emerge, is already following in her sister's footsteps. Tour cameos, stage appearances, a visible presence, but Sir's name is barely mentioned. His face is never seen. There are no paparazzi photos, no birthday sightings, not even an occasional blurred glimpse in a family snapshot. It's as if he doesn't exist in the world of the Carters. that silence has become deafening. And for fans, especially those in the neurodivergent community or raising children on the spectrum, the message feels clear. If Sir is different, they're hiding him, not to protect him, but to protect their brand. And that's what makes this so heartbreaking. Then came the tweet that lit the internet on fire. Out of nowhere, Kanye West, never one to hold his tongue, jumped into the conversation with a now deleted post that read, "Wait, has anyone ever seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? No." Like literally. That one sentence cracked the silence wide open. Kanye, who had already been drifting into controversial territory with erratic online behavior, was now pointing a finger directly at the Carter family, and fans were shook. It wasn't just shade, it was a direct accusation that Jay-Z and Beyonce were intentionally hiding their children. And while most people brushed off Kanye's tone, the message itself stuck. People began rewatching interviews, scanning every Beyonce photo drop, and searching for even the faintest trace of Sir. What they found only confirmed what many were starting to believe. There was no trace at all. Zero public record of Sir attending any of Beyonce's massive world tours. No cameos, no blurry crowd shots, no grainy tabloid footage, just silence. But Kanye didn't stop there. In another post, he cryptically praised artificial insemination and declared that having children is a choice, hinting that some people choose to build picture-perfect families while others only do it for appearance. Fans weren't sure if he was throwing shade, projecting, or both, but either way, he'd opened a conversation that couldn't be closed. Some defended Beyonce and Jay-Z, insisting that they were simply protecting Sir's privacy, but others weren't buying it anymore. The contrast between how Blue Ivy and Rumi were introduced to the public and how Sir remained completely invisible was too stark to ignore. And Kanye's messy tweet, even if delivered in the most chaotic way possible, forced fans to ask, why is Sir being erased from the Carter family narrative? If this was about safety, wouldn't all three kids be equally shielded? If this was about age, why is Rumi suddenly allowed on stage while Sir still hasn't made a single public appearance? The reactions were loud, emotional, and split down the middle. Some called Kanye insensitive and accused him of weaponizing someone's potential disability. Others, especially those familiar with celebrity image control, felt he was saying what many were afraid to voice out loud. And in the end, that tweet did more than just trend. It exposed a truth the Carter family has been desperately trying to hide. To understand why this situation feels so deliberate, you have to understand Jay-Z's obsession with image. Everything he does, every lyric, every business deal, every public move is about control, about legacy, about how he's perceived by the culture. He didn't just build a career, he built a brand, a myth, a billionaire blueprint of the hustler turned mogul who climbed from the Marcy projects to the Roc Nation throne. And in that version of his story, perfection is the only acceptable presentation. From the outside, the Carter family looks like royalty. Beyonce is the queen of modern music. Jay-Z is the boss, the mastermind. Blue Ivy is the heir. And now Rumi, charming and stage ready, is beginning to claim her place in the dynasty. It's a carefully curated image, and every piece has been placed with intention. But Sir Carter, he's the missing puzzle piece, the one who doesn't seem to fit. And fans are starting to think that's not by accident. Jay-Z has made it clear in interviews and lyrics he cares about legacy. He's rapped about passing the torch, about raising young kings, about building generational wealth and power. But legacy in his world isn't just about blood, it's about optics, control, presentation, what the public sees and remembers. And for someone who sees himself as the ultimate strategist, the existence of a son who doesn't conform to the Carter brand, who might need more care, more protection, protection, more patience, could feel like a deviation from the empire he's constructing. That theory is heartbreaking, but not far-fetched. Because when you look at how the Carters operate, image has always been everything. They've sued over unauthorized baby photos. They've controlled the release of pregnancy news like a PR rollout. Beyonce's entire Lemonade album was a controlled explosion, vulnerable, yes, but meticulously packaged. So if Sir doesn't match the narrative Jay-Z wants to sell, would he be left behind? And when you pair that question with the fact that this isn't the first time Jay-Z has allegedly distanced himself from a son, the pattern becomes harder to ignore. Sir Carter's disappearance isn't the first time Jay-Z's name has been tied to a child he allegedly wants nothing to do with. Long before the rumors about Sir's condition began to swirl, there was another young man fighting for recognition. His name is Rumi Satterthwaite, and for over a decade, he's claimed that Jay-Z is his biological father. This isn't internet gossip. This is a legal battle that's been dragging on since 2014, when Rumi and his guardian filed a civil lawsuit demanding that Jay-Z submit to a DNA test. Simple enough, right? Just one test to clear it all up. But instead of putting the rumors to rest, Jay-Z's response raised even more eyebrows. He didn't take the test. He didn't issue a firm denial backed by evidence. Instead, his legal team went into overdrive, filing delays, shifting strategies, and doing everything possible to dodge what could have been a quick and final answer. To many, that silence said more than words ever could. Rumi, for his part, wasn't looking for money. In a sit-down interview with The Sun, he made that crystal clear. I don't want anything from Jay-Z. I just want the truth. He talks about being a role model. Well, take the test and be honest. If I'm not your son, prove it. But Jay-Z never did. And that's when the story turned from a personal paternity dispute into something much darker. Because Rumi's guardian, Lily, eventually revealed that Jay-Z allegedly got Rumi's mother, Wanda, pregnant when she was just 16 years old and he was in his 20s. Even more disturbing? Some sources claim that the relationship may have started when Wanda was as young as 13. If true, this isn't just a family matter. It's a scandal that could have serious legal implications, especially considering how hard Jay-Z's team worked to keep it quiet. According to Lily, when they first approached Roc Nation, the tone was friendly. Jay-Z's lawyer even floated the idea of signing Rumi to the label, almost as if they were trying to offer him a place in the empire, but everything changed when they realized Wanda's real age at the time of conception. Suddenly, the tone went cold. Lawyers stopped taking calls. The door slammed shut. That reaction, swift and aggressive, left people wondering, was the real fear about money or exposure? What makes Rumi's story even more disturbing is the claim that his mother, Wanda, was underage when Jay-Z allegedly got her pregnant. According to Rumi's guardian, Lily, Wanda was just 16, and some reports suggest the relationship may have started when she was as young as 13. At first, Jay-Z's legal team was cooperative. They even discussed signing Rumi to Roc Nation like they were trying to keep things quiet. But once they realized Wanda's real age, everything changed. The lawyers pulled back, the tone turned cold, and the wall of silence went up. With today's DNA technology, Jay-Z could have ended the speculation in seconds. A swab, a strand of hair, it's that easy. But for over a decade, he's refused. Why dodge something so simple unless there's something to hide? This isn't just about denying paternity anymore. If the age allegations are true, it could be about avoiding something much bigger and much darker. And that silence, it's starting to feel like a pattern. At this point, Jay-Z's refusal to take a DNA test doesn't just look suspicious, it looks strategic. With all the resources and influence he has, clearing his name should have been easy, but instead he's dodged the test for over a decade, letting the rumors fester. And now fans are drawing a direct line between how he handled the Rumi situation and what's happening with Sir Carter. Two sons, two stories, Same silence. Ramir was shut out despite asking for nothing but the truth. Now, sir, the only male child Jay-Z publicly claims is nowhere to be seen, completely missing from the family's otherwise carefully managed narrative. Fans aren't just confused anymore, they're angry because when someone has the power to rewrite culture, influence politics, and build billion-dollar brands, but still refuses to acknowledge their own blood, it sends a clear message: image over integrity. And the more Jay-Z stays quiet, the louder the accusations. For years, people gave Jay-Z and Beyonce the benefit of the doubt. They were seen as fiercely protective parents, shielding their kids from the ugliness of fame. But now that narrative is cracking. The silence around Sir Carter feels less like love and more like erasure. Fans aren't whispering anymore. They're asking real questions. Why is Sir never seen? Why hasn't Jay-Z addressed the rumors? Why dodge the same conversations over and over when the truth could easily end them? On social media, forums, and video threads, the speculation has exploded. Some fans are heartbroken, others are furious. Many are calling it what it looks like: a pattern of hiding children who don't fit the image. First Ramir, now Sir, and the Carter's silence, it's no longer being seen as dignity or privacy. It's being seen as control. Because in a world where Beyonce shares her art, her pain, and even her family with millions of fans, why is one child being completely left out of the picture? The people are watching, and this time, they're not backing down. Two sons, two timelines, one chilling pattern. Ramir Satterthwaite has spent most of his life asking to be acknowledged, ignored. Sir Carter has never even been given the chance to be seen, and the man who could silence it all with a single text or a simple photo stays quiet. Jay-Z's legacy has always been about power, success, and control, but what if behind the billion-dollar empire and the flawless image there's a truth he's too afraid to face? What if the cost of protecting the Carter brand is cutting out the people who don't fit the mold? Because at the end of the day, image fades. But silence leaves scars. And the question now isn't whether Jay-Z is hiding something. It's why.